Hi there, Corey with LaPlante Management. When I say accounting, if you're a business owner or any reasonable human being, your eyes kind of glaze over. You imagine that you're anywhere else, talking about anything else, and I totally get it. Look, I've spent most of my professional career around accountants. I'm married to an accountant, and I've been an accountant myself for most of that time, so I understand. In this series, we're going to take a look at your chart of accounts and figure out a way to get the information that is most relevant to you into your hands the easiest way we can. And then we're going to take a look at reporting, what you can get straight from your accounting software, what you might want to get from somewhere else, and why you should care about accounting, reporting, and your numbers in the first place. So let's dive right in. So first things first, a chart of accounts is just a list of any buckets you use to differentiate one transaction from another. If we back up a step, all of your transactions will impact either the profit and loss statement or the balance sheet or both. The first mistake people tend to make is assuming that the P&L tells you whether you've made money or not. We'll get into this more in the reporting section, but it doesn't. It tells you whether your income was greater than your expenses. It sounds like the same thing. It isn't. This is why people think accountants are aliens. They're not, probably. So we have these two different financial statements, and you can more or less split them each in half. The P&L shows you income, and it shows you expenses. The balance sheet shows you assets, and it shows you liabilities and equity. Don't worry about what each of those means. We'll cover it later. For now, just recognize that there are these two separate things with two separate sections each. Now let's get back to the chart of accounts. We need to decide which transactions belong in each of those different sections, and if there are subsections we care about. For example, if we zoom in on the income side of the P&L, let's say we make our money from a combination of products and services. We probably want more than one income account, because if we're making 90% of our income from products, but we think we're making 90% of our income from services, there's a good chance we'll make decisions that we'll later regret. Similarly, we probably want to break our expenses down at least some. It would be helpful to know how much we spend on payroll compared to office supplies, right? If we assume in a tight month we can save all the money we need by not buying pens and paper, there's a good chance we'll be frustrated when it turns out our spending freeze still left us spending a ton of money. One more thing to consider. Your accountant has definitely thought about the best way to set things up for themselves. If your accountant is completing your taxes, they're thinking of things in terms of what needs to go on your tax return, not necessarily the best system to manage your business by. They're not against you, at least hopefully not, but accounting serves a different purpose for taxes than it does for management. Now obviously these are pretty basic examples, but here's the point. Think about what buckets you actually care about. Too many accounts will leave you wondering which bucket a transaction actually belongs to. Is this office, or supplies, or office supplies? Why do I have all three of these? But too few accounts, and you aren't able to act on information that you should have available to you. How much did I make from product A versus product B? How much did I spend on rental cars versus hotels versus airfare if I lumped them all into one account called travel? The right fit for you depends on your specific needs. In the next video, we'll take this idea of putting transactions in the right buckets and show you some reporting options that can help you put this information to good use. If you're feeling overwhelmed by accounting, where things should go, what you should be looking at, we'd love to help. Click the contact form directly from our website, or click the link in the notes if you're watching this on YouTube, and let's talk about whether there's a better way to set things up for you. I'm Corey with LaPlante Management. Thanks for watching.